You just squeeze them to love them.
I had dreams of waking up with him sitting on my back in weird positions, and then when I wake up, I was in that position. It was odd.
He doesn't sound like a normal cat.
No.
I don't think he was. I don't think I've really had any recently.
So what about growing up with all those things made you want to pursue to go seek them instead of them finding you?
Finding out the unknown. I mean, there's a mysteriousness about it that some people don't want to find out. Others are, hey, don't look at that. That's evil.
Mm-hmm.
But there have to be answers. There's something else out there, and that's what I look for.
Right.
There's people have written books. Like, if these things didn't happen, there wouldn't be books to read. Not necessarily, like, not everything is, what you're going to read is going to be like facts. But I mean, there are people out there that have written books about their experiences, whether it's the kind that we don't talk about because April doesn't like it. And then, the kind about the little people that we don't talk about because
we just don't talk
about them. Things have had to have happened for like books and things to be written.
A lot of like your spiritual sides of things, cryptids, things that you can't explain. It's usually based on folklore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Myths and legends. They all are based in something.
Right. And you can prove and disprove anything on the internet nowadays.
Right.
But if it's out there, somebody had to have experienced it, seen it, felt it, heard it, smelled it, whatever, in order to take the time to write about it.
Yeah.
Right. And I mean, and it all goes back to we were not here first. You have your Native American folklore, you have your German folklore, your Irish folklore. There were people here before us.
Mm-hmm.
There are, they have seen things and heard things and whatnot that have been passed down to generation. I mean, you have the people that, they don't let their kids out after a certain time, or, you think you hear something, but you don't. I mean, like Megan always says, if you think you heard it, no, you didn't. If you think you saw it, no, you didn't. Because, you could get yourself in a whole world of rabbit holes trying to like uncover things.
Mm-hmm.
And
yes, you can.
Yes, you can. And then that just comes back to like, okay, what's real and what's not. I mean, you have all those people out there who believe in Bigfoot. I'm not, one of those people who's like, oh, Bigfoot's not real. If you think you saw Bigfoot, that's you.
Mm-hmm.
You may have.
Right, you may have. And like people who see like the what is it, the black shook, and people who see shadow people, just because you didn't doesn't mean it didn't happen.
Right.
It everybody has their own form of something that they've seen, whether they want to talk about it or they don't.
Mm-hmm.
We just happen to be one of those people that are like, yes, let's talk about it. Let's figure this out.
You want us to help you figure it out? Let's go.
I am all for walking around at nighttime with a flashlight trying to see if things jump out at me.
I will help you figure anything out as long as it doesn't include the ones that I don't talk about. Or
the little people that we don't talk about.
Which little people?
We don't talk about it.
We can't say it.
No.
There are multiple forms of little people, though.
Okay, well, there's one little people in general that if you talk about them,
things happen.
Yeah.
So we don't talk about them.
Starts with an F?
Yes.
Okay, that's different little people.
He did it.
I did not say it.
I'm all for going on a Bigfoot hunt.
All right. I am so down. If anybody out there is all for like Bigfoot hunting, let's go. Like, we are all, let's go. I am so down for that. Getting on a plane won't happen, so keep it local.
I will fly, but you got to pay for it.
There are local legends of Bigfoot in the Ohio area, but it's not called Bigfoot.
No.
Like the Grass Man.
It's
and
something like that. Yeah. I mean, because you've got...
Skunky.
you've got all of those stories that of like people getting lost in the woods, and then they're talking about how they were rescued by some kind of animal,
Yeah.
and then they're found unharmed,
Fairly
perfectly
clean,
fairly
fed.
clean, fed, hydrated. And then they tell the story and they're like, oh, well, you didn't go very far. You never really left where you were. But it's like these people
Are miles away from where they
miles
started.
away somehow. And it's always that they're either in some kind of cave, some kind of little cavern that they found, or like some kind of giant like tree hole in the ground. And somehow they come out like perfectly fine.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the shit.
Right.
I want to go, like, not get lost in the woods per se,
No,
but
I don't camp.
I don't care. Yeah, no, camping doesn't do well for me. A, asthma, and B, hearing little things every second would drive me absolutely nuts. At that point, I would just be
love
irritated
camping,
about it.
So
No,
I don't camp.
you're a weirdo.
You can camp. We'll stay in the hotel and then meet you back later.
Right.
pull the RV up along the path. It'll be
I
fun.
can do an RV.
RV's not bad.
Yeah.
What
No.
are some of y'all's experiences now that I've went?
Yeah. We squirreled. Sorry.
You want to go? You've got a lot more than I do.
Well, just as far as what piqued my interest, grew up in haunted houses. We would be in the living room. Everybody who was in the house would be in the living room. You hear people walk upstairs. You hear doors open, doors close. The typical things come up missing. We went on vacation somewhere. Nobody had keys to our house and came home and there were clothes laid out on my bed.
Like somebody like laid them out like they were going to put them on, like get
Like
dressed.
laid out for me. Yeah.
Was it like a sexy little red dress?
No, it was like
Was it your typical outfit?
no, it was something that we didn't own even.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah.
Came from the attic.
No, nobody owned this. It was a little black, like silky, like nightgown thing. Something you would see in like an old creepy vampire movie that the lady would wear. Yeah, no.
Did you go room to room with like one of those things that
No.
we can't say on
No,
YouTube?
no. I was a
With the pew
kid.
pew.
Yeah,
No.
because I would have
No.
been like, no.
I was a kid, and so I was just like, this isn't mine. Whose is it? It was nobody's.
That's weird.
Yeah. But mind you, this was the house that when I was a kid, we played with Ouija boards in because my girlfriend had a Ouija board.
So you're a dumbass.
I am a dumbass. I used to be a dumbass.
We're all dumbasses at some
So
point,
we can go back to the Ouija board. We were playing like we always do. At least once or twice a week, we would pull out the
Oh my
Ouija
god,
board
you
and
did
play.
it more than once?
Oh, we did this for years.
Oh my god.
Years.
once or twice a week
Until-
over the course of years.
Until this happened. We were having a birthday party
She summoned demons.
for me. Yeah, we did. We thought it was cool. We were gonna have a birthday party, camp out in my garage. Okay. So we go out in the garage. We've got all of our sleeping bags. We've got a boom box. We've got snacks. We've got the Ouija board. We got it all.
Oh my god, that's
We're
just the
playing
makings
with
of
the
a
Ouija
1980s
board.
horror movie.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're playing with the Ouija board like we always do, asking questions, getting all kinds of creepy stuff. Remind me to go back to that. So I don't remember exactly what was said, but the lights started flickering.
No, I would've been done
my
right then and there.
girlfriend, just wait, it gets better. My girlfriend, whose Ouija board it was, this far off the ground,
no.
up in the air. We picked up that Ouija board, threw it across the garage. Do not throw my Ouija board. We're all like, oh shit.
I would have
And the
Sparta.
lights went out.
I would have Sparta kicked her and ran. I would have been like, nope, goodbye. You can stay here.
You just heard a bunch of little girls screaming.
I would get some holy water and just start throwing it at her. No.
Well, when the lights came back on, we're all hovered in the corner, and she's sitting there. She's like, "What happened? What's the matter with you people?" We're like, "Seriously, you didn't just do this as a trick?" She's like, "I have no clue what you're talking about, but what
And
happened?"
you continued.
No, that was the last time we
Oh,
ever
good.
touched one.
Okay. I was gonna say, if you continued after that, you really were a dumbass.
Nope, that was the last time we ever touched one.
No, I don't blame you.
And
But
you never closed the session.
no, we didn't. We didn't know any better. We were stupid.
Again, people, don't buy the Ouija board. It may look fun and enticing, but just don't do
Don't
it.
do it.
Unless you want to boost our business.
It's the trick of it's the
Go
trick of
ahead.
the little people.
Right?
Stop it.
But we did have some cool things with the Ouija board because we got little clues of people who we thought back then we were told that they were our spirit guides. But I was able to
That's
track.
like possession waiting to happen.
Oh yeah, but I was able to track back some of the names, which was kind of cool.
Yeah, yeah.
That didn't happen until I was older, and I ran across one of the pictures that I had gotten when we were at, I think it was 6th grade camp. And I looked at it, and then I had written something on the back, and I'm like, oh shit, that's who that told me that. And I was like, oh, cool. So then I started going back. Of course, I've lost all that stuff and my 100,000 moves I've done in my lifetime.
Quote unquote spirit guides.
Yeah.
Demons.
Right. Well, they're spirit guides, technically.
Just,
Depends
no.
on
They
what
just
kind of
guide you
spirit.
the other
Everything, just
way.
depending on where you want to
You're
go.
right. They just guide you the other way. So from there, I went the house that my family moved into after that. Obviously, it was haunted because, yeah, they probably came with me. But we would hear people go up and down hallways. My grandmother's house, she had seen, no, not her, my mother had seen her grandmother walking down the hallway. Just random little things like that because, of course, they don't believe in any of this stuff.
No, because it's just your imagination and you didn't see anything.
Right.
It's usually how that goes.
Yeah. And then I don't think we had any little spookies in any of our other houses until this one. We got all kinds of toys in this house.
I think one of my favorite types of like spiritual activity or haunting are the phantom smells.
Yeah.
Especially when you think somebody's cooking and you go and look and nobody's home.
Yeah.
That's always, yeah. Like, my great grandma's house, I didn't know this until I was older, but, I would go sit in her, like, so if you walk through the front door, you walk through the door, you're in, like, this little hallway, there's a little bathroom off to the side. Then you walk in and you're in, like, the main living room, the kitchen, and then you go into, like, a sitting room, which then had their bedroom, and then their, like, back porch. So, I would, like, go into, like, sit in, like, the sitting room because it was, like, where the kids would go because there was really nothing else to do at great grandma's house except eat candy out of the jar and take a nap.
Those hard candy in the bowl that were all going
Yes,
together. Yeah.
or she had the sticky sugar candies that taste like plastic, but you couldn't stop eating them.
Like the dinner mint things.
Yeah, they were like gumdrops too. She had gumdrops too.
Yes.
And I was sitting in the room by myself one day, and I could smell, like, all of a sudden I got like the whiff of like pipe tobacco. I didn't know until I was older, there was like this pipe stand, but there was nothing in it. It was always empty. I didn't know that's what it was. I thought it was for plants.
Yeah.
So I could smell pipe tobacco. And when I was older, we got on the conversation of like when I fell and I hit my face. I hit my face off the pipe stand. And my grandma was like, oh yeah, your great grandfather used to smoke a pipe. And I was like, oh, that makes a whole lot of sense now.
Yep.
Because all I could smell when I was by myself was the pipe tobacco. And because I was his first great grandkid.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was like 2 or something when he died. So I was the first one. And my mom said he just absolutely adored me. So for me to smell it, I was like, oh, Grandpa's still here.
Yep.
Like he's hanging out with Grandma and she doesn't even know it.
Aw.
Yeah.
So I think I'm kind of along the lines of Brian, where I like to do it, A, because it's fun. B, I like people to know, nope, you're not crazy. We'll figure out what it is. And there is more out there that we just don't know, and I want to put the puzzle pieces together to figure it out.
I'm just a weirdo and I just like it all.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
that too, but I just think it's fun as hell to go do
Go
this
different
stuff.
places. And,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get different history lessons.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, because just reading a book, it's not always in there. You have to, like,
You
you
have
have
to
to be there.
You can
Feel it.
the energy.
Yeah,
There's
that's what I was
nothing
gonna say.
like
You can
that.
feel it. Like, you know, like when you or Megan or I, like, we walk into a room and then we're like, we can feel
you just feel
somebody.
the energy shift.
Yeah, the energy shifts. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, and sometimes somebody's like curious as to why you're there and what you're doing. You just see a little head peek around the
Yeah.
corner, and you're like, oh hey.
There is no way to describe that feeling to somebody who has never had it before, but it is one of the coolest feelings in the world because you're actually picking up on the energy and
Yeah.
the feelings of another living being.
Right.
Or
So-
non-living.
So what April is kind of describing is when we go into places that a lot of places we go, we don't like to know about beforehand. So we just kind of get the rundown as to what's going on and then we go. Like we do our own thing. So an energy shift is really fun because you can walk into a room and nothing happen, and then all of a sudden between that doorway you get like this burst of like energy and feelings, and it's almost like your entire body just gets like electrified. And then there are other times when you're like, ooh, no, I'm not going any further because I don't like the way this feels.
Yeah, it kind of like
And-
it stops you like you're hitting a
Yeah,
brick wall.
it's like this is
That's
this
where
is
you
it.
guys you turn around and go, hey, you need to go in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where we send Brian. I'm like, hey, I don't like it in there. You need to go. Just you go hang out in there and you tell us what you find, kind of thing. Which is great for having a guy on our team because we can just be like, here, you go. You
Oh,
go.
I don't mind. I really don't.
Nope. What? I guess what?
It's your turn now.
Okay. So, I have always been the weird kid. So I've always been the weird kid. And it actually is because of a genetic thing that I have with my eyes. My grandfather has it, my uncle has it. We pretty much can't see anything unless we have glasses or contacts like I have. But everything is blurry. Most of us can't see what's in front of our faces. So when I was growing up, a lot of it was my mind trying to put together what was in front of me when I didn't have my glasses on. But I also picked up on like other people's energy and their emotions. And I was am still a very emotional person. Sometimes like I can tell when somebody's angry, and sometimes I can tell when somebody's like upset, because I always ask people like, what's wrong? Like, what's up? How are you feeling? Because I feel it and I'm like, okay, so this is either going to go one or two ways. Is you're going to get angry in about 2 seconds and then I'm going to get angry, or you're going to cry, I'm going to feel it, and then I'm going to get even more angry. That's how that's going to go. So growing up, it was a lot of, I cried a lot. I was happy a lot. Or I was angry a lot. It just depended on where I was. And a lot of the houses that we lived in, I picked up on all of that. And being one of those people, I was terrified to tell anybody like what was going on. So my mom would just find me having conversations with myself and whatnot, because she couldn't see the person sitting in the room, but I could. The house, like the first house that I remember growing up in, there was an old man who used to sit in the rocking chair in our living room, but my mom didn't see him, but I did. There was always people outside, like walking around our property. Like my mom didn't see them, but I could. As I got older, I kind of learned that you don't tell people because a lot of them think, you're really weird. And I already had 90s style glasses and fluffy curly hair, so I didn't have a lot of friends then.
The big Coke bottle.
Yeah. So I didn't have a lot of friends then. So telling people that you can see people that aren't there just makes it so much better.
We'd have been best friends.
Right. But it was like that everywhere I went. It was whether it was the house we lived in or school. As I got older, as our producer over here is dying.
Crying.
As I got older, it did get like worse. The house that my mom, the first house that she ever bought when I was older, I would say early teens. We had this clawfoot bathtub, and in the bathroom was the door to the attic. And I absolutely hated it. I hated being in that bathroom by myself because it always felt like somebody was watching me. I still never got the history on that house because I don't want to. Because I didn't want to.
Ask you if somebody died in that bathtub.
I don't know.
'Cause I have a picture of it.
Yeah,
in my head right
like
You say clawfoot bathtub, and the first house I lived in, we had a clawfoot bathtub.
yeah, it was like the traditional clawfoot bathtub, and I absolutely hated being in that bathroom.
Cast iron with the white paint.
Yes, and like you could almost drown yourself in it.
Oh,
yeah,
Yes.
hated that bathroom. And then at the summertime, I'd spend the time at my grandparents' house, and there was one night where my grandma, she'd gone up to bed, which was not normal for her because she usually stayed up all night, but she had gone to bed and I fell asleep on the couch. Well, I woke up to 3 men having a conversation in the basement. Now, their basement was like, it was a normal, there was some like couch, extra TV for us kids when we wanted to go downstairs. There was big furniture, there was a giant freezer. I heard like furniture shifting across the floor. And I hauled ass upstairs because I was like, there are people in our house right now. Well, there were no people. Come the next morning, there was nobody in the house. And I was like, cool, okay. I started doing research on the house that, they lived in. And there was a fire at one point in the house. But as far as I can tell, there was nobody that died. They were just there. And it was creepy.
Well, that's one thing we learned, though, is they
Yeah.
don't have to.
No, they don't have to die. Yeah, no.
It was just an important piece of their history.
Yeah.
Talking about the clawfoot tubs, it reminded me of first house I lived in, which our attic access was actually in the bathroom.
That's how ours was too, and I hated it.
And
Hated it.
thinking about it, me and my sisters actually used to play up in the attic. It was partially where our playroom was, so picture a 3-story house.
Yeah. When my mom bought the house, we were doing exploring and she showed us like the attic space. It was finished attic.
So was ours.
But it was funny because there was an old drawing table that was left up there and there was still paper, pencils, and the way it was set up was that somebody was still sitting there, like still drawing. And I absolutely hated being up there. Like if I ever had to go up there by myself, I would literally just open the door, set it on the stairs, turn around and like walk away and like wait for somebody else to be like in the house or like go up there with me because I refuse to go alone.
Our attic access in the bathroom, it was the staircase lit up, hardwood floor, open floor plan. It could have been an actual room if you wanted to, but it only had one light, like right in the middle of the room.
That's how ours was too.
And
To be in the same house.
It might have been. But it didn't matter what time of day it was or, whatever. You had that light on, it only illuminated a certain area and then
Everything else was dark.
was in
Yeah.
shadows.
Yeah.
That leads to some creepy interactions, especially at
does.
night.
No, so our bedroom was like directly next to the staircase. So like if you opened our closet, there was the staircase. And then so every night you could hear somebody walking up and down the stairs.
The staircase for our bedroom, it went on the outside of the house. It wasn't outside, but it was on the outside edge of the house.
Yeah.
And the stairs would have actually went up over our bedroom.
Yeah, that's how this one was too. Like if you walk to the bathroom, you go through the door, you go like there's like 2 steps and then it kind of wraps around and you go up. So that would have been the stairs in our closet would have been directly, that whole section would have been directly above our, like where our bedroom was.
I have not lived in that house for years, and I can still draw out the floor plan.
Mm-hmm. And it's still terrifying. Like I hated that house.
I could draw out my first house's floor plan better than the second house I lived in, or the third.
Huh.
No, there's only 2 houses that I really remember that I know like the entire layout of. My house and then my grandparents' house. And my grandparents' house, like we knew it was haunted. The entire street we lived on was haunted.
My grandma and grandpa's house that my parents now live in, I can draw out that floor plan to the original way it was. And before they knocked out walls, that was a creepy ass house.
It usually is. Especially the older houses you get. I always love old houses like with charm, because they look like they have charm.
Yeah.
But they also come with like other
spiritual baggage.
Right.
That's okay.
Unwanted guests.
I still want an old Victorian.
No.
I do. I really do.
The large bay window and the spire.
When we were looking for houses and there was one that I absolutely adored, I saw the staircase and was like, nope, somebody either hung themselves or somebody fell down the stairs and died.
Oh, yeah.
And the funny thing is like when I did research for the house, I was right. And I was like, see, that's why we can't live in that house. Like, we can't live in a haunted house.
There is a stained glass studio in my hometown.
And yet I do, yeah.
There's a stained glass art studio in my house, and I do believe the house is for sale, and that's an old Victorian.
Oh.
Get her to get some money together.
We could have an office.
Right. We could have an office.
Pretty stained glass windows.
Yeah.
And extra baggage.
And right. Ghosties included.
Right. We could just set the recorder on the table and just have conversations with ourselves, but who knows who else would join in.
Exactly.
I don't know how I feel about that. I don't like the fact that I could be sitting in the room with somebody watching me.
But you are all the time.
All the time. Whether it's my house or here.
Right?
My house, the old man's coming back. Keeps knocking stuff over again.
The entities at my house are starting to become a little more active. Must be because it's getting closer to spring.
Well,
not only spring, but I think it's
all gonna get more active. I've noticed like almost every day it gets a little bit more because of
the closer we get to going to Tennessee. Yeah.
Like my house, I don't really notice it during the winter, but I try not to go outside as much.
Yeah.
Because it's cold.
Yeah, I noticed that too. The more it gets closer to Tennessee and more things are amping up.
Even at Tabby's, more things are happening. Even though she's not going, she's still part of us, and she wants us to video. She wants us to video chat her while we're there. So she's got stuff too.
It's gonna be an interesting time. Yeah. And this is why we do what we do.
Right?
Right? All of our weird quirks and everything puts us together as a team.
Yep. We were all meant to be together.
Mm-hmm. Well, I always knew I wanted to do something paranormal, but everybody thinks it's funny because the kid who's afraid of the dark does this.
Oh, yeah, but there's a reason you're afraid of the dark.
Well, exactly, and that's what I've tried to explain to people. I'm like, it has nothing to do with it being dark outside. It's what's in the dark.
Right.
You're not afraid of being alone in it. You're afraid of not being alone
exactly.
in the dark.
Right. Like, anytime I'm I was telling my husband how when he's not home and I come home from an investigation, I open the door to my car, I leave my car running, I run up the stairs, I unlock the door, open the door so everything is wide open, and then I go back to my car, grab all my gear, put that inside, and then I shut my door, lock my car, and then I go inside and lock all the doors. I think the neighbors think I'm crazy.
Yeah, but you got things in the across from you.
Right, yeah, because I have that big open field across the street where people like to hang out and hide and watch me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that
I'm
makes
just waiting for
perfect
the
sense
night
to
that
me.
something.
People, and as in
Oh,
you
people.
see them, but they don't.
Right.
Yeah.
nobody sees
People
them.
that I see, but other people don't see.
I'm still
Yes.
waiting for one of my little gremlins to like grab your leg as you go down the driveway.
No. Don't do that to me.
They've never touched anybody, but I know you don't like walking down the driveway, so it's only a matter of
No,
time.
I don't. Like every time I get in my car, I like hop in, like
I
both my feet leave the ground, and I like
Just
I'm,
wait
like,
till
close the door and I lock it, and I'm looking
It's only
around.
a matter of time till they realize, hey, let's do this.
No, yeah, because then I'm gonna come back into your house and like you go.
Just
You
wait.
go
You're gonna get a
outside.
phone call when she gets home one day. It grabbed my ankle as I was running up the steps.
No, I'm happy that my house does not have open steps. No,
Yeah.
like my basement, the steps are like boarded off, kind of, and then it like drops down, so it's like not too worried about it because there's stuff under there. But like my front porch, nothing is open. All of that is closed.
Dude, I was doing an
I'm
investigation
so excited about that.
in a basement with
No.
the open steps. Now, mind you, I've already had things thrown at me in this basement. Okay. And so at this point, I'm like, come on, you're so big and bad. Let's go. Come on. You're not going to scare me. Ha ha. I walk down the stairs and I'm like, whoa, it's getting awful thick. I'm like, man, I can really feel this. And then something goes flying over on the other side where the steps aren't in the basement. And I get like 2 steps from the bottom. All of a sudden, I feel this whoosh of air
No.
go wrap around my legs. And there's a recording of the loudest growl I have ever heard and me screaming like a 5-year-old.
So,
I would have too.
interesting story now that I'm thinking about this.
My attitude would have been kicked in, and
Used
like,
to-
you don't touch me.
Used to go to a friend of mine's house with her, or well, with her mom's house and check on things while her mom was gone because she didn't like going in the house by herself because there was something living there in the basement.
Okay.
No, not really basement. It's more of like a split level. We go over and we're checking things out, and I was like, I gotta go to the bathroom. So it's like, you need to go downstairs, turn the water on, go to the bathroom, and then when you're done, you gotta go down and turn it off. I'm like, okay, it's no big deal. Do my business. As I'm going back down the steps, I'm like, I can really feel it. It's down here now. I didn't feel it the entire time we were in the house. But I got down there to turn the water off, and I can really feel it now. And it was watching me.
I'm getting like the chills.
And I go and I turn the water off, and as I'm heading back up the stairs, you hear a metal platter fall from somewhere back in the basement area. And just like, did you knock something over? I'm like, no, I'm just getting out to come up the steps. I just turned the water off. It's like, oh, it must have took off.
Oh my god. All I pictured was just this old man sitting in the corner, like doing one of these.
Well, there were all kinds of
Staring.
canes around the house. And
So it probably wasn't. Yeah, like that's the picture that I'm getting is just like this old man who's just standing in the corner, just like staring.
Like, why are
Daggers.
you in my space?
Yes.
it wasn't it wasn't comfortable, but it wasn't uncomfortable for
Right.
me because I'm used to it.
Yeah.
It's one of those crotchety old guys who's like, "This is my house."
Darn
Like the
it,
guy
stay
from,
off my property.
like
right?
the guy from that movie. I can't say the name of the movie. We'll get in trouble. But the balloons with the
Yes.
yes,
Yeah, but he turned out to be a nice old
yeah,
man in the
with
end.
with the
Yes.
king, like the little face. Yeah,
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
yeah.
Mm.
Do we have any questions over there, producer?
I'm gonna say no.
No, probably not. No.
Nope. You're at about 45 minutes.
Woo!
Let's ramble.
Right?
And we didn't even need Megan here this time.
Right. And we're all like, oh, what are we gonna talk about? Oh,
She's
man.
gonna send us a message. You guys are being mean.
I have to mute that shit.
No,
too.
Megan, we missed up the whole beginning of
Yeah.
the thing because
Sorry,
of
Meg.
you.
I had
Right.
to take over her portion of that.
We're all just sitting here going, da 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 da. Oh, okay.
Right? Like, oh, we're live
I
now.
thought he reset it as I was watching, so I was like, oh.
I think
maybe
that's
we-
what I was watching too, and then we all just messed up. It's Monday.
And he's like, oh yeah.
Do your job today. Come on now. We've been doing this for almost a month. Get your shit together.
Get with the program. I hate that freaking saying.
What?
That's his favorite line. What is it?
Get with the program.
Oh,
No.
I want to knock
What
his
program?
teeth down his
Yeah.
throat every time he says that.
My program.
No,
I don't know your program.
It's really easy.
no, it's not.
Super easy. Nobody can do it.
I don't know. We got anything else really to add? Oh, well, it's Saturday, which means in 2 Saturdays
Yes.
we are doing our big
Yes.
out-of-state investigation in Tennessee.
Yes.
As long as my equipment cooperates, we will try to get some footage
We will
of
try.
doing I've got some new cameras coming. I've got some new equipment that we're gonna play with. So as long as that cooperates, we will be doing some new stuff.
And
in
as
2
long as we
weeks.
have cell service, we are going to try to at least go live for a little bit. Worst case, if that doesn't work, we'll just at least shoot a little video and then upload it when we get on Wi-Fi.
Yes, because Google likes to kick me off of things. As he rolls his eyes. But yes, 2 Saturdays from now, as long as, knock on wood, nothing goes wrong, we will be in Tennessee
Are you sure that
for the
was wood?
weekend. Shut up.
It's close enough.
He'll hurt
Here,
you.
this is wood.
We will be in Tennessee, so our podcast will, if we can get one up, will be coming from there.
Yes.
I am very excited about this, looking forward to it.
I'm beyond
And
excited.
one of my clients at my job actually gave us a list of some local places
Nice.
that I had not heard of until I talked to her. So, looks
Very
like we
nice.
got some new things in the works for the next couple investigations.
Very
Yeah.
nice. We also have a house down in, I don't know if it's considered southern Ohio, but Bel Air.
Yeah, I think that's slightly southern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we have a house down there that we will most likely be investigating sometime as soon as the schedules can work.
Mhm. We have our big, like 80 acres
Yes.
investigation coming in May. As long as nothing happens with that one and my equipment once again cooperates, that I am praying for right now. We will also be doing a big, probably a podcast and live thing from there too.
We've got new
So-
equipment coming in.
Yes, lots of new toys. We're officially like out of the baby stage, have our equipment, have stuff lined up.
We're working on getting our new shirts, our new business cards.
Yes. So, big things are coming.
Yes.
So don't go anywhere.
No. Stay tuned for more.
Like, comment, subscribe, all that.
Turn on
good
notifications.
stuff, 'cause I can never
check out
remember.
Discord.
Link in the description.
Thank you.
Hey!
Good
I
job.
remembered something.
We can do it when Megan's not here, but please don't miss another one, Megan, because we need you.
We miss you, Tabby.
And Tabby. Yes, we miss Tabby too. So, I don't know.
Technical difficulties there.
Yes. I guess that really wraps it up for tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
All right, savages.
see you later. Bye, guys.
Good night.